Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Dudu Nishmasi Mimurosirus Bas Mordechai, live from Park City, Utah. Shmaka place, Utah. The more I'm here, the more I learn about it. They're pretty friendly to Jews over here. Mormons, they're pretty good. They Machshav Yidden. Nice. Erev Shabbos. I don't know if I could show the video. Erev Shabbos, my son-in-law took me to one of his friends' houses here. And you pull up to the driveway, and the gate opens up automatic. Any car that pulls up, and it's a whole estate with horses and chickens and vegetables, and then he has a barn, a giant barn just for bikes and for skis and for working out. A massive estate on a Shalom Aleichem. We just started. Come in. So we have 3 people. Gavaldik. Chaba Gemara, sit down, and the whole thing. Everything, you just walk in, the doors are unlocked, like we didn't have, like what's going on here? Like, Ganovim could come. No Ganovim, I guess. You're not so worried. All right, so that's that. We're here in Utah, and so Shabbos was over like 45 minutes ago. So very, very little time. I'm doing this here because perhaps there's people in the Beis Medrash that are watching live. Right now, it's 7:16 a.m. in Eretz Yisrael. It's 10:16 in Utah at night, Motzi Shabbos. So we're hoping that everything got on here okay. I'm just going to show a couple of things. Here's a video. I'll turn this around for you guys. Yeah, turn it around. Okay. So this is in Austria, the Alps of Austria, beautiful Alps over there. You see the difference? Check these the scenery over here is a little different than Utah. Oh, we're gonna have to turn it around. Do me a favor, turn that around so I could for the shear. Get it back. I just have to. Okay. Hi. It's been a long time since I've seen you or written to you. Last time was the second MDY Shabbaton in Connecticut. I was the guy, you hear this, Mark? I was the guy who caused the disturbance by fainting. Oh, can you read it off here? Thank you. I was the guy by fainting just as you were to begin the Hadron. Two things there. One was during Friday night, and then there's a whole thing. Somebody fainted, and then I went weiter, and somebody's upset at me. How do I go weiter? But they told me everything's okay. The members of that solo were amazing, using several tablecloths to make a stretcher and carry me to the lobby while I was treated by several doctors and attendants before the ambulance arrived. A special thank you to Mark Ashkenazi for efficient crowd control and for calling me a few days later to see how it was. I got to say, you should go up to Mark Ashkenazi. He's on right now. Early, you had to get up early to, he's up anyway, he's pretty early. But he's the one that basically runs the show behind the scenes. He was with me all the way till Shabbos by him. He did early Shabbos and Mamish to the last minute. And then Kobe took over for the second year. So that was the beginning of 6 months of horror for me. In January was the first operation of 4 more during the next 5 months. This was on top of several weeks in ICU because I accidentally took 2 mornings of medicine, Shem Yirach, and 1 morning by mistake. I'm Baruch Hashem at home now. I have quite a few lasting things like not being able to walk more than 10 feet and having continuing memory loss. Although that seems to improve every day. I'm not telling you all this to have sympathy on me, for I have accepted all the changes, and with Hashem's help, I'll continue to improve. What I did want to discuss with you is the daf. For many months, it was impossible for me to do the daf. I now try neatly every day to do the daf, but many days I lack the initiative to even open my Gemara. I've taken your advice and just do that day's daf and catch up later. However, catching up on 5 or 6 months daf seems an impossible task and does upset me. So my question is, how do I go on? The daf is very important to me, and I'm sure that thinking about shears you have given 1D, 2D, and AIR that I remembered, and most of all, your jokes all have contributed to me never giving up. I wish you a good Shabbos and hope that this email has given you some joy. Just writing it has done for me. Your Talmud, Yossi Razner. P.S. You had the pleasure of meeting my big brother, Norm Razner, at the Boca Raton Shir. P.P.S. With Hashem's help, I will gain enough energy to visit you in Bet Shemesh next year. So, the only thing I could say is do not try to make up 5 to 6 months. That's exactly what he's saying here is what causes a lot of people to fall off the Daf Yomi. So those 5, 6 months, you're going to put away, say, hey, next time around or whatever it is, do not try to make up those 5, 6 months. You could try to make up a week, 2 weeks. You could try, but it shouldn't be a goal. The point is, you do today's daf, you do tomorrow's daf. Every daf is a gain. Every daf. First of all, I wish you were refuah shleima and the whole mishpacha. You should have koyach, and we should hear good psuras from you. But do not try to make it up, and don't fall off. Here, today is a new day, a new daf, a new sugya. We're starting here. It's all beautiful, and what happened happened, and do not give up. The hundreds of dafin that you learned with us, that stays, and from here on out, hundreds more until the end of Shas. And Be'ezer Hashem, one day you'll make it up. Shkoyach, so he says like this, where we discussed Chol HaMoed, Shkoyach, that you gave chizik to the thing. I just wanted to tell you that in Amshinov, the Rebbe is makbet to say on Chol HaMoed a good yontif, and he doesn't say a good moed. Bracha, Aaron Levi. Rabbi Yisai, the Masechta, is one of the good things about not having enough time on Motzei Shabbos to prepare is that there's not a lot of emails tonight. So I beg your mechila. David Solomon, dedicated memory of Avi Meirib, Shmuel Baruch, Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv, Zichron Levracha. Masechta sponsored anonymous. Chatzach Baruch, you can turn it around now. Shkoyach, guys. Baruch is Begashim Zechus Achinu Bnei Yisrael. So remind me, what's your name again? Shmuel Gotterman. So I saw you learning steiging before davening, during davening. You probably davened earlier than 10 o'clock, right? You came just for Kriyas HaTorah. Unbelievable. What's your name? Moshe Gabay. Did you send the email? Because I got emails from Gabays. Well, okay, not you. Shkoyach. Yeah. That was your father that laned?
Yeah.
Where does he lane usually? Is it Balkaira or?
My father's up in Lakewood.
In Lakewood. Ah, that's how I know the name. Okay.
We have any of you guys in the Shifrin? Shmuel Shifrin, I think he's in the left share.
Halavai should know all the names. Shkoyach, have some drinks because of the elevation. You have to drink a lot over here. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. If you don't drink, Hashem Yirachem. I have also, my calf muscles are hurting, even though I usually walk a lot during a regular day, but over here, not enough. Lips get chapped real bad. Anonymous, also the breathing. May our learning be a shield of protection and a source of unity and blessing for Am Yisrael. Joel Gedalius, Lee Nishmas, my father, Jack Gedalius. Monthly sponsors, TCS, Israel, powered by Talk and Save. Weekly sponsors, Aaron Freeman, in honor of Rebelli for continuing to have the Shmai, the Spirit Torah around the world. Thank you, Reb Aaron. Coffee, Anonymous, in memory of Leah Bat Jamila. Daily sponsors, Anonymous, L'schus Shiduchim L'Kol Yisrael. Vni, Matisya, I guess so, Matisya, Ben Anat Bekarov. Reb Eli, enjoy your trip. Yishur Koyach. I do. I enjoy, but this is you got to learn also. You got to prepare shiurim. So it's a combination of enjoyment and then shiurim. Happy birthday, says Moshe Aaron Landy, to A.M. Goldman. Thank you for bringing me to the best Daf Yomi shir and brotherhood. David Brickman, in memory of Avi Moiri Reb Shmuel Ben Chaim Akayin Zichron Levracha. It's so interesting because Mo Landy, it wasn't enough that I keep on mentioning him in terms of Chazara on a plane, and people learn 10 daf and 20 daf and full Masechta, because Moshe Aaron Landy, who used to be called Mo Landy, did that on a plane. But now, the news story with him is the cheetah. He was the one in the Jeep that said, give $1,000 if we... So now he's going to be known for that as well. Listen, Favos Nisht, that's you got to be he's a trailblazer. Is that the word? How you say it? In memory of Avi Moirib Shmuel Ben Chaim Hakoyin, says David Brickman, Zechron Levracha. Yoni Weiss, Lilishmas Miriam Basrib Osher Aleh Shalom. MDYR monthly refuah shleima for Yehonatan Eitan Ben Bashev Bracha. Refuah shleima Mordechai Ben Esther. Refuah Yeled Daniel Ze'ev Ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Yisai, here we go. We're holding by a Mishnah, and the goal today is, it's going to be a very short Amud Beis. The goal is to get to the Mishnah on Nun Gimel Amud Beis, and we have a plan to keep on doing this to get to the Mishnah on Daf Nun Daled Amud Beis, and then Nun Hey is very short. Oh, Givaldik. Okay, so we are basically live in MDY Beis Medrash, and Gutterman is Mark Ashkenazi's cousin, he says over here. Did you know that? How is he your cousin? He has no idea who you are, Mark. He's denying it. No, Mark lives in Muncie. Oh, so Givaldik, I see, who do I see there? I see Lauren, I see Oshi, I see all the, and Rav Nachum, Rav Helprin, Rav Schoenberg, Rav Ruvain. So do me a favor, let's Givaldik. I see Mamish, the guy's live over here. It's unbelievable. I think there's a 10-second delay. So I said, you see them on the screen?
No.
Here, how about now? No, still not. I see them on my screen. Anyways, Mark, maybe grab a screenshot or something and put it into the charts, and I'll show it during the share, kind of. Okay. So we're holding by the Mishnah on Nun Beis Amud Beis. As usual, Masechtas Avodah Zarah, every day is Geshmak. Oived kechavim mevatel Avodah Zarah shaloi v'shel chaveroi. And you know, there's a lot of chazara throughout the Masechta, very typical. These are halachas that we learned already. Rabbi Gardner, you do the daf also?
Yeah.
When? How? During the day. What yeshiva are you in? Fishman's. You find time. Well, that's what I'm talking about. I don't recommend the Bachram should do it instead of Zdarim, but when you find time and this and that, it's very geshmak. You hear this? A guy has the power to nullify, to be mevatel his own Avodah Zarah and his friends' Avodah Zarah. Might be mashma, they're not even a Jews. His friends, another guy. V'Yisrael, a mevatel Avodah Zarah shel Avik. A Jew cannot be mevatel anything. He can't be mevatel his own Avodah Zarah. He certainly can't be mevatel a guy's Avodah Zarah. Ha mevatel Avodah Zarah. When the guy is mevatel, what?
Some say Yisrael, by the guy being mevatel.
Yeah, I see there's a Gemara. We have to see the Gemara. I hear the Gemara discusses it slightly. So let's see what he says over here. Okay, it's another Girsa. Okay, says the Mishnah that if you're mevatel Avodah Zarah, mevatel mishamshel. A person who's mevatel, a guy who's mevatel Avodah Zarah. So automatically he's mevatel everything that serves that Avodah Zarah, the dishes and everything else. There's two svaras in it, but basically he has a mind sort of he's mevatel the Avodah Zarah. There's nothing to do with those kalim, so they automatically become batel. The whole purpose is to serve the Avodah Zarah. Now it's no longer around, so they become batel. But bitul mishamshel, if you only mevatel the kalim that have to do with serving the Avodah Zarah, so there's a bittul on the kalim. V'yasur, but the Avodah Zarah, of course, remains awesome. Says the Gemara, masnili Rebbe, l'Reb Shimon v'Rebbe. There's a riddle for you only, Rabbi Gutterman, and all the people in the Beis Medrash, people that are watching. Where else in this Masechta does it say that Rebbe taught his son? Masili Rebbe l'Reb Shimon v'Rebbe. Rebbe, Rabbeinu HaKadosh, the author of the Mishnayos, was teaching his son. I'll remind you, the Gemara says that they finished Chumash, and Rebbe's son wanted to learn Tehillim, and his friend didn't want to learn Tehillim, they wanted to learn Mishlei or something, and then on the first pasuk, Rebbe explained that you should learn whatever you feel like learning. So I think it was Levi, he gets up, he says, oh, you just gave me an excuse to get out of here, I can leave, because I don't want to learn Tehillim. So they didn't just learn Chumash and Tehillim. You see from over here, Rebbe taught him Gemara also. So he says, funny lashon to call your own father, yeah? Your father's a Rav, so how do you call your father? You probably call him Abba, no?
Yeah. French, Papa.
You call him Papa. You know, that's what my granddaughter in Miami calls my son, Papa. Okay, you made me feel better now. It's tough to have a son that's a Papa. It's tough. As a father, it's very tough. Oh, he's watching this year. I love him. Yeah. Listen, it gets you have to get used to it. I know Tati, Daddy, Papa. He's a trailblazer. He's unique. He does everything his own way. But now you're saying that that's French, Givaldic. But here he calls his father Rebbe. The Gemara calls him Rebbe. But obviously he's calling him Rebbe, like we call a Rebbe. Like you in Yeshiva, you say, hey, Rebbe, right? Rebbe. Now the thing is, Rebbe, it's his father. So what does Aaron Stefansky call me? Does he call me Rebbe because he does the daf with me? Or does he call me Daddy or Abba, whatever it is? So basically what the Mefarshim say over here is you can't prove anything. You could call him, sometimes they call him Abba, sometimes it's Rebbe, whatever it is. But over here, interesting, call him Rebbe. For sure not his name Rebbe. As a Rebbe. When you were younger, you taught me, seems like that a guy could be mevatel his own and that of a Jew, but not that of a guy. Only that of a Jew. Fine. So I need to know why, what happened, what changed there exactly. So he says, first of all, the Gemara says, the Yisrael Mikom Mevatla. Could a guy be mevatel the Avodah Zarah of a Jew? So whoever learned Avodah Zarah before in the last few dapim, once a Jew acquires Avodah Zarah, there's no way out of it. You can't be mevatel it. We just learned this the other day. One of the pirushim we learned is that one shot was that this is an act that a Jew does in private. He doesn't want people to know that he's doing Avodah Zarah. He doesn't want to get killed, Rashi says. But the other shot is that when a Jew worships Avodah Zarah, there's no Eitzah. What do you do with it? You bury it. Gniza. So how could the Goy be mevatel the Avodah Zarah of the Jew? Omar Reb Hillel bereidev Volas or Valas. Before I go weiter, when I say Reb Valas, I always have to say it's a story. It's basically the same story. Reb Nachman Seltzer wrote a book about Reb Valas from Arachim. A famous book, incredible. What is it called? Incredible. So I'll just say one thing that really struck me from the book is that when he became a Baal Tshuva, he realized that he stole from a lot of people. So there's a lot of stories in there of how, and it just gave me chizuk, like that us, from people, we should be very careful. All people, forget from people, all people. Careful of taking from another person, even a mashu. He was once in a bar and he liked the glass from the bar, so he took it home. So he had to go find the bar. That was a symbol. One day he was walking down the street and he saw some stones. He said, okay, I'll take a bunch of stones. From construction site, you just take the stones. So he takes the stones home. And he had to find the owner and then to go through the records, and the guy already moved, and go to the city and find out who used to live in that house. And then he tells the guy, listen, I stole 10 stones. And the guy says, 10 stones? You're the guy that did it? Because you had to reorder a whole nother pallet. And that took another who knows how what. It's not just the stones. You owe me who knows what. Okay, because of that, he finished off that. He had a whole list of people. It took him years. He once went down the highway. He was hungry. He went to orchard. He grabbed a couple of oranges. He wanted to pay that guy. The kids are to be careful taking from other people. So anyways, Rav Valas says, that the guy is a little bit of a partner with the Jew. And the chiddush is that initially when Rebbe taught this to his son, he told him that the guy has the right to be mevatel the part of the Jew. You have a Jew and a guy that own a Avodah Zarah together, so the Jew cannot be mevatel, but the guy could be mevatel. That we know is not true, right? You can never be mevatel any part of a Jew's Avodah Zarah. You have to be going as it. But that's what he taught him then. So you have to understand why then he taught him that. So how come then Rebbe held that a goy could mevatel the part of the Jew? When Rebbe was younger, he held that the Jew, he doesn't know about Avodah Zarah, so he has a friend, a guy who convinced him to do Avodah Zarah. So he's like, okay, whatever you do, I'm going to go with you. Even though these are all not mevatlo. So you figured, okay, since the guy is mevatel, the Jews also it becomes bottle. But later on he held Yisrael that didn't have palach. A Jew worships on his own das. So the guy has the right to mevatel his own portion of the shutfus of the partnership. The Yisrael battle, but he cannot affect the partnership of the Jew. You can demasel sefer, and some take this revalis and put it on the sefer. Yisrael says in the sefer that a Jew cannot be mevatel the Avodah Zarah of a guy. Says Gemara Pshita. What do you mean? He can't be mevatel his own. How can he mevatel that of a guy? I just want to throw this in here. 1 second. Okay. Omar Rebbe Bereder Nitzrucho sheyesh loy ba shutfus. So yeah, we're talking about a partnership between the Jew and the Yid. Yisrael. By the way, shutfus. I have a friend. It's a cool thing. I have a friend that has a property that he rents out to people, and anytime he has like a issue, somebody comes and complains in the office, so he says, you know what, let me call my shutuf. He makes a phone call, and he gets this big, giant gangster, 6'4", 350 pounds, and the guy comes into the office, and he says, yeah, what's the problem? And the guy says, no, nothing, and he walks away. This gangster's not a shutuf. He has his phone number. And anytime he calls him up, he gives him $20 just to show up. He scares the guy away and Shalom Yisrael. That's the shutfus they have. A lot of people on the south side of Chicago, they own properties. You get a shutuf like that, and then people don't steal from you. It's a whole thing. People pay you rent on time. Sometimes it's good to have certain shutuf. So this guy, he's not a good guy. He has a Avodah Zarah with the shutfus. The Jew cannot be mevatel the portion of the guy, but the guy himself can mevatel his own portion. And finally, a third pshat in Ravalas, a brisa. Ravalas said this on the brisa. The Avodah Zarah of a Jew is never bottle. What does it mean, ilamis? Forever, never. What does it mean? Just say it's not bottle, finished. My ilamis. We're talking about a case, Lachamal, that's Ravalas' Vart. We're talking about a partnership. And this comes to us the Chiddush that the Jew, since he does his own thing, Mela, the guy cannot be mevatel the Jew's portion. How are you mevatel? How's a guy mevatel his own Avodah Zarah? He has a piece of Avodah Zarah. How's he mevatel? Kota roish ozna, chop off the ear. They say by Saddam Hussein always had a lot of doubles. It's known. If you were back then, they had a lot of doubles. So one day, the head of security calls in all the doubles, and he says, listen, I have bad news and good news. The good news is they tried to assassinate our master, Saddam. News, so what's the bad news? When they tried to assassinate him, his ear fell off. All you guys. Yeah. So I said this story 3 times already. I'm going to say it again. One day my father came home. It's like, that's it. It's all over. Give me all the dolls. Bring them over here. He ran around by himself with the scissor, chopped a little bit of the nose, a little bit of the ear. It's based on this. Then, I got to tell you this. Maisa, he married his second marriage after my mother was nifter. So he married this woman. He's still married to her. Baruch Hashem, a great marriage. Shalom Aleichem, come on in. Wow, 3 guys. What's going on here? You need some Gemaras? Here, this might be a Gemara right here. Ooh, what's going on? Gee. You brought a guitar. We're going to have a whole matziv. Hold on, let's do a little bit of a turnaround here. This is live in Eretz Yisrael at the 7 o'clock in Minyan. Here, say hello to Dailam. Wave. Givaldig. Nice crowd. For Park City, Utah. Had a big schos that Rav Giver from Boca, he's a Rav of 400 families in Boca, very chosh v'yid, edel guy, and he came with his sons, great guys, mama's great guys. Yeah. And I was supposed to talk to him and schmooze with him, it was gewaldig. Anyway, so what was I in the middle of saying? So when he remarried, so my stepmother, I should say, we call her mom, she had a unbelievable collection of these porcelain dolls, very expensive stuff, like from a famous artist or whatever. My father wasn't very happy about it. Like in the beginning, that was one of, like right away, he said, listen, this is a problem. It was like depictions of human beings in at a porcelain. It's a whole kitzer. I think he made her get rid of all of them. All right. So says the Gemara. Oh, what is it? Oh, it moved by itself for whatever reason. Maybe it's doing the following. I don't know what the shot is. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, I have to learn how to make it stop following me, Mark. Oh, when I turned it back, I have. Okay, it's not following me. Right? When I turn it back, so now we know. Oi. Says the Mishnah, we're a brand new Mishnah, guys. You just came at the right time. We will just repeat the first few words. How does it go? You chop off the ear, roish chotma, the nose, the ear, roish tzba, even take off the end of a finger. That's enough to be mevatel. Pechasa, afal pishloi chisra. Here we have this. Let's see if I can find it here. Here, this is the pchasa. You remember this? We had this before. Pchasa means a guy, you take a hammer and smash its face in. So that even though nothing's missing from the Avodah Zarah, not one piece is missing, he didn't chop off a finger, he just punched the Avodah Zarah inwards. Bitla, that's a bitl. Now, chidush. Rok befonea, if you spit out Avodah Zarah, that's not a bitl. Hishtem befonea, you relieved yourself in front of it, unless it's obviously the pa'ar. Gorra, you drag Avodah Zarah. It's a tremendous bizayon to drag something. That's what the goyim do. Even Adiyam Azeh, they take, the Arabs, they'll tie a person to the truck and drag him. That's what they did. The Chizkiah did to his father. You drag. Dragging is a big bizayon. Zarg ba'as atzoya, you throw waste at it. Harei zeinu b'teila. That's not a bittul. Why not? Remember, you did it. You should know. Why is it not bittul? Because what? No. This is not avodah. The avodah would be a problem. But because the Gemara explained then, the Gemara is going to talk about it here. It's out of anger. The Gemara says there that it's like a husband and a wife. You get angry, but you get over it. You make up with Avodah Zarah. It's not a bittul to Avodah Zarah. B'chorei mishkana. What if you sell the Avodah Zarah or you give it to somebody as a collateral? Rebbe Yomer bittul. Imagine. You take your Avodah Zarah, this is your God or whatever, you give it to somebody, you sell it. Come on, that means that you don't care about it. The Chacham Ma'imrim loy bittel. Chacham said, no, selling is not a bittel. A mashkin is not a bittel. So we'll see some svaras in the Gemara. It says the Gemara, if he took a hammer and banged Avodah Zarah, so why is that a bittel? Nothing's missing from it. Because he bashed the face in, so now you can't recognize it anymore. That's a bittul. You spat at it, or you relieved yourself in front of it. How do you know that that's not a bittul? Spitting is not being mevatel Avodah Zarah. Omar Chizkiah, do'makra v'hoyo kiyirav. Listen to this, Rabbi Isa. This guy is hungry. So what happens when a person is very hungry? He's in a bad situation. Viskatzif, vikila b'malka, he curses his king, meaning his avodah zarah, b'leikav, b'leihav, upana l'malo. So what does he do? He looks upward. It's not even a joke anymore. It's like it became such a. Everybody knows this line, but we have to talk about it. A guy's in Manhattan. It happened to me. I mean, not the good part, the bad part. You go to Manhattan. Anybody here from New York? Where are you guys from? Jersey. Okay, Lakewood, fine. But you go to a busy place like Manhattan, it's Chicago, downtown. You're not going to find parking. Now you're late to your meeting. If you go into a garage, first of all, it costs $50. Second of all, until you find the button, then you take the elevator down, you miss the meeting. So the guy looks up to Shammai and says, Rebbeinu Shleilam, do me a favor, get me a parking spot. If you get me a parking spot, I promise I'll daven mincha b'tzibur for the next 2 months. Make some sort of thing. And as he's saying it, a car pulls out. And he says, Rebbeinu Shleilam, I don't need your help anymore. Thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. That's basically what happens over here. You guys are young, but sometimes in life, you get like a medical scare. You're not sure what it is. You're waiting for the. You can imagine, Baruch Hashem, it didn't happen to me like that. I had something similar, like a scare. Like last year, exactly a year ago on Tisha B'Av, Mark Ashkenazi called me up and said, you have to go to the doctor. You're slurring, a whole thing. And you go to the doctor and you don't know, did you have a stroke? You didn't have a stroke. You had a machla, not you had a machla. You know what I'm talking about? You heard about these things. People waiting for the test. So what do? The first thing is like, from now on, just make sure it's okay. And if it's okay, I promise that I'm going to do this and this and this and that. And from now on, I'm going to. And then the doctor lets you know you're okay. It was a scare. And all your promises usually fly out the window. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to really, it's like, this is what we talk about all the time in Daf Yomi. When you have that inspiration, whatever, you have to jump on it and act on it immediately. Because if you wait a few days, then all of a sudden you forget, it was a scare, you forget what it feels like to think that, wow, the machla, me a stroke. You know what I'm saying? But if you jump on it and you really take action and you say, no, that's it. You write it down and you say, this is what I promise, this is what I'm going to do. Here's the chevra in the Beis Medrash. Kol hakavod. See Dr. Epstein over there, our famous Kohen of David. Psh, the Gan Soilam. Oh. Over 20 guys. I don't know who's in the front even. And I'm not even there. See that? There's more guys over there than over here. Givaldi. Okay. So what happened over there? This guy, he's upset at his Avodah Zarah. He's starving. He tells his Avodah Zarah, you're worthless. How am I so hungry? So he starts looking to Hashem. It's what we're talking about. Sometimes you need a good zetz to start thinking about Hashem. What's the next pasuk? Pasuk Chav Beis over there. Vel eretz yabed v'nei tzar v'chashecha. At the end of the day, so he got his food, he calmed down, and he goes right back to the Avodah Zarah, forgets about Kadosh Baruch Hu. Even though he cursed his God and he looked up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, at the end of the day, he goes right back to Avodah Zarah, to the ground. In other words, even though you spat at the Avodah Zarah, you did whatever you needed, you dragged Avodah Zarah, you're just mad momentarily for that point. But eventually, you calm down and you go right back to the Avodah Zarah. We learned in the Mishnah, Mecharei Mishkan Rebbe Yomer Bitel, we had a machloikis. If you sell Avodah Zarah or you make it into you could drink, you could pop it open, it's fine. We got a drink here. You sell Avodah Zarah or you give it as a collateral. Zero Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yirmiyah, Rav, either in the name of Rabbi Yochanan or Rav, right? Rav and Rabbi Yochanan, they're both G'dolei Adar. Rav is considered even a Tana. He lived right when the Amoraim started, a little bit into the Tanaim, so he's considered a Tana. Rabbi Yochanan, he was the Gol Adar in Eretz Yisrael. Rav was the Gol Adar in Babel, and they were the contemporaries. Rabbi Yochanan is not always. It's more Rav that's considered a Tana. Akol panim chad omar machliks b'tzoyref ovid kechavim. So one of them, we don't know who, says that the whole machlokes with selling or giving your Avodah Zarah to a guy is only if we're talking about a tzairif. There's a, how do you say tzairif? A guy that does silver, a silversmith. So to me, it was pashut as soon as I read it, but I guess it's not so pashut because Rishonim argue on this. But Rashi says, "Stam loikchim mateches tzarfim." Doesn't mean a silversmith. It means anybody. It just happens to be that most people that buy metal are a tzarif. Okay, but it could be any guy. So what happened? Machlokes is oivik kachavim. The tzarif oivik kachavim. When the silversmith is a guy. Avo b'tzarif Yisrael. If the guy gives over his Avodah Zarah to a Jewish silversmith, the Riakol Bitel, that's a Bitel. Why? Because the guy knows what is the Jew going to do with it. He's not going to worship it. So as soon as he gives it, he says to himself, I'm nullifying this Avodah. It's not Avodah Zarah anymore. I want to give it to the Jew. I want to sell it to him. I want to give him his collateral. Bitel. And the other one says no. But sorry, Yisrael machlokes. The whole machlokes is when it's a Jewish silversmith. New, and if it's a Goyish silversmith, what happens? So it's not so pashut. That's what the Gemara is asking right away. Yiboiluhu. Is the pshat, since he the whole machlokes is only because he gave it to a Jew. But if he gave it to a guy, it's not a bittul. Why is it not a bittul if you give it to a guy? Because he knows that the guy might use it as a Avodah Zarah. So why should he be mevatel it? If you know that you're going to give it, let's say chas v'shalom, a guy gives a sefer Torah to another Jew. He knows the guy's going to learn from it, but he gives the sefer Torah to a guy. So he's basically giving up on the sefer Torah. Same thing, reverse, lahavdil, a million abdal. So a guy takes his Avodah Zarah, gives it to a Jew. He knows that the Jew's not going to use it, so he's mevatel it. But if he gives it to another guy, the guy's going to use it. So maybe the machlokes is in both. Says Gemara Tashma, Doma Rebbe. Rebbe says, Nirin Devarai, I like my pshat. The Gemara is going to explain what this is. In other words, if I sell it to destroy it, then I'm right. And my friends are right. When I sold it to worship it. But the Gemara says, if the guy sells it to somebody that he knows 100% he's going to take it and destroy it, melt it down and make something out of it, then what's the svara to say that's not a bittul? Then 100% the guy is mevatel. Love the mamish, and if he knows for 100% certainty that the guy he's selling it to is going to worship it, the guy told him, I'm buying it to worship it. That can't be. My time in the man bittul, my time in the man bittul. Then what's the svara to say in the case that it's for worship? How could anybody argue and say that no, he's mevatel? He said he's going to worship it. And how could anybody say in the case where the guy told him specifically, I'm going to melt it down? How can anybody argue in that and say that's not a bittul? So, what's the pshat? I don't know. He's probably going to melt it down one day. Umanu tzarif Yisrael. And we're talking about a Jewish silversmith guy. Lavda limishasa lavda, and to worship means somebody that might do it. Umanu tzarif a Goyish guy. Akopanim, what does Rabbi say? I think I'm right in this case, and I think my friends are right in this case. But there's a machlokes in both cases. One case is a Jewish guy, and the other case is a Goyish guy. And Rabbi says we argue in both cases. So that's a raya that the argument is in all cases. It doesn't matter if the guy is a Jew or the guy is a guy, there's an argument. Shema mina, machlokes. Says Gemara Loi. That's not, Rabbi didn't say, why do we have a right? Because Rebbe said, I think I'm right, and I think they're right. In two cases, two separate cases. No, that's not how we read it. I think I'm right that my friends think I'm right. I don't think that I'm right. I think my friends think that I'm right. In other words, there's no machlokes. When Rebbe says the first time, he said, I think I'm right. Meaning, they think I'm wrong. So that's a machlokes. But now we're saying that Rebbe said, I think my friends think I'm right. So if my friends think I'm right, we don't argue. We're not arguing. In one case, that what? Omar Rebbe, Nirim, and that makes a lot more sense. Why would Rebbe say, oh, I like my pshat in this case, but they're right in that case. So if they're right, so say like them. No. Why are you arguing? Now it makes more sense. Now, I think my friends agreed to me. We're not arguing. Nirim devarai lechaveirai. My friends like what I have to say. Kishemachar lechabla. When a guy sells a piece of Avodah Zarah, and he knows for certain that it's going to be melted down in 2 seconds, then even they agree that it's a bittul. Umanu tzarv Yisrael, when it was sold to a Jew. Nobody argues. The only time they argue is when it was sold to be worshipped. But to melt it down, everybody agrees. The kids said the Gemara is saying, I don't have a raya if there's a machlokes in both cases or not. Meisvei. Question. Somebody buys a bunch of scrap metal from a guy. And he found Avodah Zarah inside the scrap. Okay, he got lucky. Had a whole box full of silver, all broken down pieces, and he digs in, and all of a sudden he finds like a whole idol in there. So what's that halacha? If before he paid, he did a mashicha, he pulled it, yachzer. Why yachzer? Why could he give it back? But he did a mashicha. Stam as I just pulled this out. It's an old one that we did. It's mashicha. Back in the day. Hold on. Yeah. I don't remember why this was important, but whatever. Look at them. They're not even moving their feet. It looks fake. Old technology. Anyway, she says, Nachamal. He finds an Avodah Zarah and it says, the Gemara, give it back. But he did Mashicha. Aren't you kind of with Mashicha? Says Rashi, it's a Mekach Taos. It didn't work. Okay, so let's go next. But he gave money and he did Mashicha, then it's too late. So no, what's the kasha? What are you going to ask? Again, you have a kasha? Let's do it again. You have to have a kasha here. Somebody has to come up with a kasha. If he did Mashicha, what? If he did Mashicha, Rashi says that's fine. Give it back because it's a Mekach Taos. But if he gave money in Mashicha, then you can't give it back. So why is it not a Mekach Taos? Frek the Mayor Jacob, my son-in-law, it should be a Mekach Taos both ways. So that Rashi over here says, Ve'ein Rishoy Lachziro Lo Yivit Gechavim V'litam Ha'isov V'avagav the Mashicha B'Taos Have, but it's a Mekach Taos. Kivin the Yovid Demei. Oh, thank you. No, you just made it larger on my screen. Merze Keman the Mizabit. So Rashi says, now it looks, since you gave money and you did a Mashicha, now what's the guy going to do? He's going to give you back the money and you're going to give him back the Avodah Zarah. So somebody that looks from the side, it looks like you sold an Avodah Zarah. That we don't want. You're right, it is a Mekach Taos. Al Pi Din, it should go back, but it doesn't look good. Akopanim, what do you see from here? Says Rashi. Alma afagav de zoven ovikechavim li Yisrael katani asura de lebatla. You see from over here that when a guy sells something, it's not a bittul. You would think that as soon as a guy sells his Avodah Zarah, it's a bittul. Says Gemara over here, you see that it's not so. That even though you sold it, it's not a bittul. Why? You have to put it into the Dead Sea. It's funny lashon that Rashi says here. They talk about it. Why the hana? The whole thing, the whole Avodah Zarah goes into the Yam. Okay, fine. Zog the Gemara. If you say that there's a machlokes even when this silversmith is a Jew, Hamani Rabbanani goes according to Rabbanan that it's not batal. Eli Amers B'Tzarif of the machlokes. What if you say that the whole machlokes is only when the guy is the silversmith? But when it comes to a Jewish silversmith, then according to everybody, there's a bittul So there's a bittul. So why does he have to throw it into the Yam HaMelech? The guy was mevatel, and now the Jew could use it. But the fact that the guy sold the Avodah Zarah to the Jew, that's a bittul. I'm a vatal. The guy is saying, I don't want this Avodah Zarah anymore. It's no longer Avodah Zarah. Here, Jew, buy it for me. So the Jew could use it. He put it in a box. Look what happened, right? He sold a whole box of silver. Okay? They weigh it, 10 pounds of silver, take. The Jew gets to the bottom, he finds an idol. But the guy sold it to the Jew, and the guy knows that he's a Jew, and if he knows that he's a Jew, he knows that the Jew is not going to worship it, so he does a bittul to it. Bittul. So why can why can the Jew use it? Anytime a guy is mevatel of his Zarah, the Jew should be able to use it. So the Gemara very pashut. Shani Hasam, that the Gurtai is Zabin. The guy had no idea that the idol's in the bottom of the box. He was selling him scrap silver. He didn't realize he has a geshmaka getchka in the bottom. Had he known that the Avodah Zarah is in there, he wouldn't have sold it to him. And that's why it wasn't mevatel. Tanar Rabbanan. Very easy sugi here. Lava aleh. If the guy borrows money against his Avodah Zarah. So let's say his Avodah Zarah worth $100. He gives the Jew $100, the Avodah Zarah, and he takes a $100 loan. Or a wall fell down on it, and the guy didn't trouble himself to find Avodah Zarah. Interesting. Rabbi Yitzchak Yosef says, he just said now, right by Tisha B'Av, he said that he has a Kabbalah of some sort that a Jew will not be harmed in Yerushalayim from an earthquake. In fact, there's an earthquake once in Yerushalayim, and people died, but not a single Jew died. That's his Kabbalah. Can't say the same thing for the rest of Israel. Very, very devastating earthquakes throughout the years, and there are a lot of buildings in Israel that are not built to earthquake codes, unfortunately. But anyway, it's a good reason why people should live in Yerushalayim. So lava aleh shenafal aleh ma'polos. A wall fell down on top of the Avodah Zarah. Or sheganvu listim, or a ganav stole the Avodah Zarah. Or shenichu ba'alim v'olchim n'zayah. They put the Avodah Zarah down and they ran away to Chutz La'aretz. Daf Yomi Amud Beis. If they plan on returning like the war of Yeshua, Eila B'Tela. What happened by the war of Yeshua? Yeshua came in with Klal Yisrael and Teretz Yisrael, and what did he do? Decimated all the enemies. So we have to understand, what does it mean they'll kind of come back? Nobody came back from that war. They're all dead. Utzricha. So we have all these cases, right? He borrowed money against it, it was stolen, a wall fell down on it. Why do you need all these cases? In all these cases, it's not a bittul. If it just said the case of a loan, he didn't sell it, he's not mevatel. He thinks he's going to get it back one day. But if a wall fell down on him, because he didn't try hard to get it, what kind of businesses? If his God is underneath the wall, he should go take a company and dig it out. So that's why I need that case also. And if I only said the case of a wall falling down, he think, okay, you know what? It's buried there. Whenever I need my getchka, I'm going to take a shovel and work hard and get it out. But once it's stolen by some guy, he didn't even look into it. He doesn't care who stole it. But so in his mind, it's over. In that case also. If I only said the case of listim, I don't care if a guy stole it. He's a tzaddik, yeah? Let's say, what's going to happen? If another guy stole my Avodah Zarah, he'll worship it. Givaldik. Yisrael shakla. And if a Jew steals it, since it's worth something, at the end of the day, it's going to return to some guy because the Jew is not going to use it. He's going to sell it to a guy. Question: Is a Jew allowed to sell it on Avodah Zarah that he steals? Why not? Why not? But it's not his. He stole it. How does it become yours? Yush. How? He didn't change. Huh? I don't know. Okay, here. These two guys argue with me.
The guy's giving up, no?
Now that he's saying now, if there's a yush, okay. So you're saying once there's a yush, he's not allowed to sell, he's not allowed to have an offer from it. But wait a minute. Once he's a yush, it's a bittul. It's a bittul, but he's not mevatel because he's not mevatel.
But it's only
Yush without this. Are you? It's yush without. Well, there's shin rishus. There's no. Okay. So he's a bad guy, anyways. He's a ganav, and he's having an offer from Avodah Zarah. Okay. Says the Gemara. We said this, yeah? But if the... Did I say it? I'll read it anyway. A guy stole it, then let him worship it. Israel shagla, I didn't know your if a Jew stole it, he'll sell to a guy, and the guy will worship it. It's a gewaldik. But if the owner just let the Avodah Zarah go and he ran away to Chutz La'aretz, since he didn't take it with him, I would think that there's a bitteler. I need all these cases. I hope my chavrus is not in the Bismerish now listening. If he is, I have to do sponsors. Turning of the daf. Adar Global, MDY is enjoying the benefit of Meisters of Adar's MDY clients. Create more Meisters for MDY so Adar can help us all get to Amud Beis. Anonymous, Yachad Gila Bat Itamar Ephraim, Chamitzchok Ben Shmuel Avigdor. Anonymous, as it's Chos Vatzloch and Ruchnis and Gashmias. Okay, one short sugi here, and that's it, an easy one. If they placed Avodah Zarah and say, if they're going to come back like by the war, by Yeshua's war, then it's not a bittul. As the Gemara, what do you mean? Did anybody ever come back from the war of Yeshua? All the goyim got destroyed. They didn't come back. If they return, that what? That by the war of Yeshua, the goyim, they went to war with the Jews. They were convinced they're going to beat the Jews. So they left their Avodah Zarah there, and they weren't mevatel the Avodah Zarah. So the Avodah Zarah wasn't batel. So Mela, if a guy comes back, if he's eventually going to come back, he wasn't mevatel it. As the Gemara Davi's question, it would be a lot simpler to say a guy wasn't mevatel. Why do you have to say? Like the war of Yeshua, after a whole Gemara, we find out that they left and they were mevatel. So if they came back, there's no bittul. Just say they were mevatel. It's a lot simpler. Says Gemara Milsa Agavurcha Kamashmal. There's a chiddush here. I'm just saying a side chiddush. Like Rav says, Yisrael shezokaf leveinu l'shtachav isla. Here we have a little bit of a picture. What happened there? The Jew puts up a stone. He puts a stone up, and before he has a chance, he wanted to bow to it. Before he has a chance, a guy shows up. That's kishmaga stuff. The Jew gives up. Now, what happened there? Is a guy allowed to make your item Avodah Zarah? No. Usually not. What's an exception to the rule, by the way? It's not for right now, but what's an exception to the rule? How could a guy make my thing Avodah Zarah? If he does a physical action to it. If he pours wine on it, he does something physical. But if he bows down to my car, he loves my Tesla, and he bows down to it, my car doesn't become Avodah Zarah, right? So how come in this case it became Avodah Zarah? So the Gemara is going to explain, and we had this Chazara, because you see the Jew wants it to become Avodah Zarah. Look, he placed it in a way and he was about to do Avodah Zarah. So if the guy shows up and does Avodah Zarah, he's okay with it. So says the Gemara, he put a stone upright. Put it upright that he wanted to. A stone usually goes like this. He put it upright. He's about to worship it. Then comes the Arab and bows to it. Osra. That guy made that stone Osra. Minal and Osra. How do we know? It's like the beginning of Eretz Yisrael. You should burn the trees. As the Gemara, Gewaldige stuff here. Eretz Yisrael is ours. It was always ours. So if there were trees in Eretz Yisrael that were our trees, how did the Goyim have the right to go over to the trees and bow to the trees and make them also? Why did the Jews have to come and chop down all the trees and burn them? They're our trees. So Goy doesn't have the right to go over to our trees and make them into Avodah Zarah. And what about the trees that were there before HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Eretz Yisrael to Avram Avinu? So maybe those 500-year-old trees, 1,000-year-old trees, those are Avodah Zarah that we have to burn. I don't know which one is what. That's the Gemara is going to say later. So I'll just burn all of them. Says the Gemara, "Bebitula ba'al masagilu." Let the goyim be mevatalit. Question: How are you going to get a goy to be mevatalit? They hate you. Why would the goy be mevatalit? Huh? So if you recall, we had a gewaldige story of Rebbe Elazar bar Kipri. I forgot his name already. Something like that, Kipri. That he found. You remember the story, Rav Goderman? He found a ring with a depiction of something on it. I don't remember what. Maybe it was the dragon. Maybe it was with the dragon. It was the Kitzur Avodah Zarah. And he didn't ask. He saw a little guy. He didn't ask the little guy to be mevatel, but he asked the big guy to be mevatel, and he didn't want to. So he smacked him in the face. And then the guy said, "Okay, I'll be mevatel." So what do you see from there? They can force a guy to be mevatel Avodah Zarah. So, as the Gemara, we're going to war. We have a bunch of these plishtim, Amorim, right? We have a bunch of Amorim there that are in Eretz Yisrael. So go to the guy, take a gun, put it to his head, say, "Listen, be mevatel this Avodah Zarah immediately." And he's, what does he care to mevatel? He's mevatel the tree, great. So we have a bittul. Bibitul lam sagilu. Elo. So the Gemara says like this: since Klal Yisrael worshipped the Egel, so here's the svara. Once Klal Yisrael showed that they like Avodah Zarah, so now the Jew likes Avodah Zarah. So now the guy did the Avodah Zarah to all the trees in Eretz Yisrael. They're just messengers. In our case, Yisrael Zakav Levena. He's about to bow to it. He put it up. All of a sudden, so he's showing that he wants Avodah Zarah. And then a guy shows up and bows to it. He's happy with it. Says the Gemara, what's the right? Who said? Maybe Klal Yisrael wanted a golden calf. They wanted an egel. Who says they want trees to be Avodah Zarah? Or makro Eila. Eila is plural. It should say Zu Eli Elihecha Yisrael. Why does it say Eila Elihecha Yisrael? Eila means plural. Melamed she'ivu lo'ilahus harbe. It was a lashon like a taiva. They desired a lot of gods. So they weren't happy just with the egel. They wanted trees. They wanted anything that the guy is going to do in a bazaar. They're happy with it. And they were happy that they took our trees. You hear this? Yisrael is ours. They took our trees and they worshipped it. They were happy with it. Says Gemara. One more line here. Ema called about the egel nitzru. So maybe there in that era of the egel it should be also. But later generations not. Says Gemara, you're right. Later generations should not become Avodah Zarah. Mamuchach, but how do you know what tree is from what generation? You walk into Israel, you see massive trees that are hundreds of years old. You don't know what came first, what came second. So Mela, the Torah says, Ashrein Tishrun Beish, chop them all down, burn it all. Rabboisai, have a wonderful day. Yishkoach guys for coming. Mamish, where are the guys? Seriously, you guys are having fun in Utah, but you know what's important? A little Torah at night. You guys could have gone bowling tonight, no? I don't know what's going on here in Utah. In Park City, it's all, there's a concert. Instead of the concert, wow, kol hakavod. Zay gesund. Rabbois, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.